Hello guys, and welcome back to another net worth tracking episode here on MTT Finance. And as always, what I like to do is at the end of each month, go over and look at the movement with my finances over the course of the month and see what has happened, if I'm moving in the positive or the negative direction. Since I have started this project of tracking my net worth, I have always been moving in the positive direction. But after doing a little bit of homework before pressing record for this video, I don't know. I think we might actually have started to tread in a backwards direction for September. We'll just have to see once we punch in the numbers where we're going to be heading. And let's get started with taking a look at my net worth for the month of September 2021. So this month, unlike last month, we are going to actually start with the good news. We're going to start with my asset column. That's the green section up here on the graph. And we are going to start with pretty much looking at the only positive trending thing for the month, which is my 401k. This currently, at the time of filming, is at $2,013.19. And just to give you guys a sneak peek, that's pretty much going to be the only positive trend we see here for this month. I'm going to go ahead and not break my spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and actually make these all dollar amounts just to get things started. So we have my 401k, that's now $2,013. My house, now if I want to, I can probably say that my house is probably worth $165,000. I actually might go ahead and put that in. I haven't actually done an official home assessment, but I would assume my house is probably ranging in that area. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in. If I feel later I need to take it out, I will do that. But my house, I'm just bumping it up $5,000 because over these last few months, I've been being very conservative with saying that my house is worth $160,000. I think it's worth more. Go check out my video regarding my house buying experience, and I'll let you guys be the judge of whether or not my house should be rated higher. Obviously, that stuff depends on what your neighboring houses are selling for or what they're valued at. There's a lot of things that get taken into account when it comes to a home's value. But let's move on down the list to my vehicle. And I'm gonna have to be honest and say that I think my vehicle is obviously losing value. Every vehicle loses value. I haven't been really tracking my vehicle's asset value, but I did kind of look the other day, and it looks like things are down from around 16,500, more so around 16,000. So I'm gonna put in for my vehicle that it's right around $16,000 because it's still in pretty good condition. It hasn't had to have any repairs done to it. I try to keep it well maintained and everything like that. Watch, I say that and something bad will happen to it. Moving on down to savings and cash, and this is one of those, I guess, sad areas for this month. So my savings and cash this month is actually trending the lowest it's ever been since I've started this project of recording and tracking my net worth. As you can see, back in April and May, my savings and cash was trending upwards, and in June it was almost at 17,000. I then in July paid off my vehicle, so I took a large sum of cash and finished off the $7,600 that was left on my vehicle loan, and that made it down here around $9,000. But this month, it's actually lower than it has been since I've done this. It is currently sitting at 8,000. Whoops, I'm not typing. 8,004. I'm still not typing. 8,000. I'll throw my computer out the window in a second. $8,450. $450.76. I think the reason for that is two things. As I've mentioned several times this month on this channel, my paychecks have just been low. For whatever reason, my job has just kind of been slow with occupational therapy and patients needing OT. And it is what it is. Haven't been really able to make up that gap. And so it's been lower, but I've still been just as aggressive with paying off my student loans, even though my paychecks have been lower. And so I think those two things combined has caused it to dip below, well, the lowest you guys have ever seen it, and the lowest it's been in quite a while. But yeah, that's what it is at the time of filming this. Moving on to my TD Ameritrade Roth IRA accounts. And before I talk about these two TD Ameritrade accounts, let me just say, if you're watching your stocks, don't, because it's hurting. Stock market is just right now, at least with the stuff I own. If you own stuff that is doing well, congrats to you. But the stocks I own are just not doing well. If you're smart and you have your stuff in index funds and that's just slowly going up and up and up, good for you. You're doing good. But I don't have any money in that, and right now I'm not really readjusting things in the stock market. That's not my goal for my finances right now. But my TD Ameritrade Roth IRA account is currently went down. Can you believe it? To $1,121.03. So that took a dip, and also did my regular brokerage account, my taxable brokerage through TD Ameritrade. That went down to $2,364.93. So unfortunately, even on this asset side of things in my investments, they took quite a hit. So let's tally up all these numbers and figure out what it's going to be for the total, the sum of my assets. And it went... Okay, so it went up, but the thing is, the only reason it's actually at this number is because I added an extra $5,000 to my home value, because I'm assuming that I've been being more conservative with myself on my home value than I need to be. And so that's why it's at $194,000 right now. In all reality, if I were to leave my home value at what it was, you would see a significant dip. Let's just, for the sake of the video, because you guys are watching, this is what it would be if I didn't make that adjustment to my home value, which, as you can see, not going in the right direction here. It's always good for your net worth if your assets are trending also in the positive direction and not going backwards. But unfortunately, if I don't make that adjustment, I'm going to be stuck at $189,949.91. A lot of nines there in that number. I think for the sake of my own sanity and peace of mind, and just so I don't get too discouraged, I'm going to bump this up to what it was. Because I do feel like I'm probably being a little bit more conservative with my home value than I need to be. So we'll just kind of keep that on the back burner in the backs of our minds, that the only reason it's going up here is because I'm maybe adjusting for what my house value should be. And that was supposed to be the good news with my assets, but no, it didn't quite feel like the greatest news because everything went down. Let's take a look at the liabilities. This is the bad news. This is the debt. This is the money that I owe to other people because I took out money to go to college or to buy a car or to buy a house. Kicking things off for the bad news side of things in my liabilities department, for my Sallie Mae loan, actually, I wouldn't say this is bad news. This is good news because this is actually something that has gone down. And as we know, on the liability side, if things go down, that is good. That is good news. So this is actually good news here. Sallie Mae went down to $18,920, I think I wrote $22.72. Maybe I need to make a correction on that one later, but I think that's what I meant to write. I'm not sure. My writing is a little weird. I think it's supposed to be 922. Anyway, moving on from there, government loans are what they have been for quite some time now, which is $71,407.15. I've said it 1,000 times. I'm assuming many of you already know. Government loans are only deferred for the next 3 months. The end of January 2022 will be the first time they've been due in over a year now. I'm pretty confident that my Sallie Mae loan number 1, the one with the highest interest rate, is actually going to be paid off by then. So that will be a good thing, because then I can just look at my government loans and this one private loan I have and not have to split things up between like 4 different accounts. That'll make things easier. Moving on to the car loan. Oh wait, there is no car loan. That's right, it's still 0 because paid that off in July. And then moving on down to mortgage. As you guys know, I have a difficult time tracking how much I have due on my mortgage loan. One of the reasons why is that because the bank that I bank with for my mortgage loan, the one that gave me the loan to buy my house, in my opinion, they're a little bit antiquated when it comes to setting you up with an online system so that you can see how much is left in the loan. When I was trying to set up auto pay, and I called on the phone and said, hey, I'm looking for a way online that I can set up auto pay for my loan, they told me to come into the branch, which is weird because all my loan accounts, like my Sallie Mae and my government loans, obviously I can't go into a branch for those things. They're all done online. Makes it convenient for me so I can both pay them from my phone or wherever I am, or I can set up auto pay and just have it be paid. And I can also look to see how much is left on the loan, the total value of the loan amount. Well, many of you guys know I have a difficult time doing that with my mortgage loan. They send me in the mail like statements. Well, I haven't gotten one of those things in like 2 months. Well, I finally figured out how to at least go through their website, put in my loan account number, and it will show how much is left on the loan. Now, with that being said, once I finally did that, and it was like, wow, it's been 12 months now and I haven't been able to do this, and I saw where I can put in extra payments or, put in information so that I can pay things online and not have to go into the bank. Once I finally did that, I looked, and my mortgage loan amount that I'm currently due is more than what I thought it was. And I'm laughing because if I'm not laughing, I'm crying. Where is it? In July, I thought I corrected because I was overestimating how much I was paying off on my home mortgage loan each month, because a lot more of it was going towards interest than I thought. Okay, so in July, I corrected it. You guys can see it right there. I'm pointing to it with my little mouse, the cursor. And then in August, it started to go down, and I realized that such a small portion of that, what's going to be $1,059 each month, is going towards the principal. A ton of it is going towards the interest, which is surprising for me because I actually have a pretty low interest. It's like 3%. The new official amount that I have left to pay on my mortgage is once again going up. It didn't go down. It is $135,127.89. I don't know why it did that, because I know I had an accurate number in August, and I know I have an accurate number now. I think it's because of my property taxes went up, possibly, and my homeowner's insurance went up, like the premium. I think by like $80 or something like that, 80 or $90 from when I paid it in August of 2020 versus August of 2021. And that's the only explanation I can have for why it's gone up by, I think, like $68 or something like that. You think it would go down. I paid $1,000 on it at the beginning of the month. You'd think it would go down. Instead, no, it goes up. What's actually crazy for me to think about, and maybe this is just a normal homeowner thing that I need to get used to. Well, it just blows my mind that in 1 year from owning a house, I have paid off on the principal about $2,000. but I've given $12,000 towards this loan. So it's just crazy that $10,000 pretty much went towards interest. And that's just like a crazy thought to think about. And over the life of the loan, how much more is going to go towards interest. Probably enough to buy another home, actually, to be honest with you. But that's how interest works. Let's get away from that because that's kind of depressing news to talk about. So now that we finish up the assets and the liabilities, we need to go and look at this blue section over here. I know it's condensed. I'm just doing that so you guys can see it. And I can be partly on the screen here. But for September, we need to take the amount of assets I have and subtract my liabilities. Let's do that now. Let's put in a little formula. We're going to take this value, the $194 and $949, and subtract that from the liabilities. And what? It says I made a $6,000 change and I'm negative $30,000. I guess it's because I had an increase in my asset column and some decreases. I did decrease the liabilities by $2,000. I'm kind of shocked that there was that big of a change. If you guys see something that I did here that I did wrong and that number should be much lower because I thought it was going to be, let me know. Let me know in the comments because it just feels like this is such a dramatic shift. And I get it. There was a huge $5,000 was added to my asset column because I assumed my house worth is more than what I have been valuing it at. But wow, okay, I'll take it. I guess I'm moving in the right direction. That's something to smile about because I was actually going into recording this video somewhat, I don't want to say sad, that's too strong of a word, but just when I saw that my mortgage loan was higher than I thought it was going to be, and I'm like, oh my word, I'm going to have to say on this channel again that my mortgage loan has changed its amount and gone the wrong way. Again, we're still in the negatives, but I think we're going to be there pretty soon. Probably not by the end of the year. Most definitely not by the end of the year. But we'll see how we are. This graph I made actually only goes into May of 2022. So who knows? Maybe by May, maybe that was like clairvoyance or something. I'm clairvoyant. That by May of 2022, we're actually going to hit the zero net worth and we'll be there and then start to make our way in the positive direction. Who knows? That'd be pretty cool because I didn't actually plan that out. How could I? But I'll have to reference this video back if that actually happens in May of this coming year. This month has definitely been somewhat of a humbling experience when it comes to personal finance. If you remember in my budget videos that I put out for this month, I've mentioned that I've been getting paid less. Groceries cost way more than I thought they would this month. Gas is going to be through the roof on my budget. And that's not even considering the fact that I'm about to go on vacation, which is going to break the budget even more. But this has just been kind of a humbling month, I would say, with my personal finances. And I think that's somewhat of a healthy thing. When you trend always in the positive, it makes you feel like life is always a bed of roses, and it's not. And so a month like this, I think, is helpful to just keep me humble and to be thankful for the good months that I do have and the good progress that I'm making. To not get down on myself when I see that I'm not moving as quickly as other people or as quickly as I originally thought I was going to be, or get upset when life situations cause my student loan payments to be less than I would like them to be. It'd be nice if I could write a check every month for $4,000 to put towards my student loans. That's no way possible whatsoever. But I am thankful for the good and positive things that have happened this month. Like I've said, it's been over a year now that I've owned a home, and so I have a home to be thankful for. I made some sales with my produce. I've actually made, oh, there's an update. Totally forgot. In my second budget video, I mentioned how I had made $26 so far with my produce sales. Actually, today I got another sale, $20. And so this month it's bumped up to $46 for just my produce and things that I get from my garden. And that's pretty cool. And the other thing is I have been actually able to, even with a lower paycheck, been able to aggressively pay off my student loans at a rate that I would say I can definitely be thankful for. So there are good things happening. Sorry if I seemed rather, like, I don't know, not as happy on this video. Right before filming all this and I was adding up all the numbers, I'm like, oh man, this is definitely gonna be a month where things are gonna go kind of backwards. And they didn't. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on this channel by subscribing or liking these videos and leaving a comment with how you're doing this month with your own personal finances. Thank you guys.